Hey everyone, Tav here. Welcome back to the Cataxians. We are once more on the website because I just did a lot of work in getting it prepared for the Emerald Adagio upload, the first of which will be in the stars coming January 7th. So I just want to show you what those changes look like. So let's head on in. Same route as always. Okay, so here we are on the ARC page. And as you can see, it does look a little different than Violet Prelude. Now, Violet Prelude is basically just a blog layout with the uploads in, I guess, descending order or ascending, whatever, oldest to newest. So that was easy to put together. This is a little different. This chapter is kind of what egged me towards making this change. I'm glad I'm doing it now at the beginning rather than waiting several chapters in, because that would have been tragic. But what we're looking at is a different system of posting chapters. Since this one is so long, as of right now, In the Stars is sitting at around 7 pages and nearly 20,000 words, and it isn't even done yet. And I was trying to figure out where I could break it up to make it several different chapters, but at the end of the day, they are all the same chapter. All of the events are revolving around the same event. So everything that's going on is at the core related to the exact same objective. The thing is, though, I think I mentioned it in the upload that went up earlier today, there are more perspectives now. As of right now, there were 2 perspectives. There was one group of characters and another group of characters, and basically their interactions were happening in tandem. Obviously, one group would get their section, another group would get their section. It wouldn't be like they'd be talking back and forth in the same section, but it added more to what originally would have been just a standard 10,000 word chapter. So you go back and forth between these 2 settings that do, in fact, revolve around this one event. So I'm writing this, and I'm realizing it's getting long. It's getting really long. And I start thinking about reader's fatigue, because I am also editing Violet Prelude, and I'm getting a little... It's my own writing, and I love it, but I am getting a little overwhelmed. I always get a little overwhelmed, and I have to back off and come back. I know editing is that way sometimes, but the way I post these, being 10,000 words at a time, if not more, that's a lot. I feel like that's a lot. I feel like that's a lot to ask someone to read. I feel like if you're going to be trying to get people in to check something out, a small, ridiculously long chapter, a ridiculously long chapter is probably not the way to entice people to stay. And I've also gone back over in my mind what I've seen other online writers doing. I'm not talking about like Wattpad or WordPress. Well, no, I do mean WordPress, because people post what they want, their own personal writing on WordPress. And when they do that, shorter things get more attention. Like, you notice how short news articles have become. You notice how short blog posts have become. It's not like they're devoid of information. It's just that when somebody sees a wall of text, they're going to nope the hell out of there. I don't want people noping out. I would like people to at least be able to give it a fair shot, and to get that, I really don't want to overwhelm them. So I cannot change Violet Prelude, but Violet Prelude isn't overly complicated. It is a much more myopic plot line. It revolves around the same people in the same setting. Towards the end of it, you start seeing it diverging, but that was the end of it. The bulk of it is same, you're not going anywhere new. You're not going anywhere different. But like I mentioned in this chapter, this arc, we're going places. And we're getting new characters. And we're getting a whole more expanded universe. So that wasn't going to work anymore. It couldn't stay that way. So, what is the new upload method, you may be asking, after I doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down on 10,000 chapters a month? Well, let me tell you what the new method is. This chapter is going to be my example. It is currently around 7 pages. Yes, I was going to upload a 7-page chapter and then promise another one for the following week. That's a lot. That's a lot for me to write, and that's a lot for me to expect you to read. So and even with page breaks, because page breaks are still pretty manual. You got to still go to the first page, down to the bottom, remember which page you're on, click that, and then keep going forwards. It's hard to take a break. It's hard to put something down when that's your only means of navigating. So, this chapter is 7 pages. It will now be 7 parts. I will now be reformatting each of those chapters into their own individual part under this section. And and each part will be listed under this little accordion. As right now, there's nothing here. But when the first chapter goes live on January 7th, this will read part 1. There'll be a short summary and a link to that chapter. Okay? So, from there, I'll expand this as every chapter comes along, and as every section comes along, and each chapter should carry that same pattern going forwards. Hopefully that'll be more accommodating, especially with the fact that it is branching out a lot more. It should allow for people to not have to invest as much time. I mean, it's not that I don't want people investing time, it's that I want them to feel like they're allowed to leave. You know, like, you don't have to live here. I'd like you to live here, but you don't have to. You read your couple hundred or a couple thousand words and you move along. All right. So instead of posting a bulk of text up front, you'll be getting, I think at the average length is like 800 words to 3,000 words per section, per page. And I figure that's pretty reasonable. The only other writing online project I've seen, they took a different route than I have, but their chapters were posted like normal chapters out of a book. They didn't write a massive mess of words and put it online. They had a better idea of what kind of content people wanted to see, or what would bring people in and get them to stay. My approach was different and incorrect, I believe. In my mind, I saw each chapter as an episode, as a television show episode. My whole selling point was, read this instead of watching TV. However, that's not an equivalent exchange. You turn on the TV, or you turn on Netflix or whatever, and it can passively entertain you. You can walk away, come back, eat your popcorn, not even do something completely different, just give it your attention every once in a while. You can't do that with writing. You gotta be focused to read stuff. And I know what I was doing was overwhelming and way too much. So that will not be happening anymore. For this chapter, the page breaks might be a little weird because I did not write it with this method in mind. But going forwards, I will be writing them a little more, taking this into consideration, because I'm going to continue the process of me writing them out wholesale, entirely in a draft, and then converting them to individual parts. That's just how it's going to have to be. So that's that. That's the new approach. One more time, I can't fix Violet Prelude, but I don't think Violet Prelude is broken. I think it's fine the way it is. And for the sake of what's going on, all the copious amounts of stuff that's going to be happening in this arc and going onwards, hopefully this will help break up the monotony and the reader's fatigue. I mean, I would love if you kept reading on and on and on, but you're not going to do that if I, again, throw a wall of text at you and hope you get through it. Again, these chapters will also be interlinked, so you don't have to come back out here to go to the next chapter. I'll, of course, have internal links, kind of like page numbers, but they'll be manually inserted. So once you start reading, if you like what you're reading, you can keep moving. If not, you leave. No time lost. So there you go. Hope that works. And as always, any questions, comments, concerns, I think my DMs are open on the Cataxian page. That's at the Cataxians on Twitter. You can also hit up the Facebook page. That's, again, at the Cataxians. Or you can email me directly, Tavri@thecataxians. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, go right ahead and contact me, especially if you're concerned about this layout. Because I want to go for accessibility, and if somebody doesn't think this is accessible, I want to hear it. And I'll figure out something else. What else did I want to say? I think that covers it. So here it is. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we're going to go forward with. And again, for probably the millionth time, I really do hope it works. So I'm Tav. This is the Cataxians, or this is the Cataxians, and I'm Tav. And I hope to see you soon. And I hope you consider checking this out. Again, January 7th. This whole arc is going to start up with a brand spanking new chapter, and let me tell you, there is a lot going on. I think at some point I might honestly do a video that summarizes Violet Prelude, because I don't think I wouldn't call it a slog, because it does get a lot on the table, and does talk about a lot, and it does introduce a lot of issues that are very important to the story, but just in case you want to jump in with everything going absolutely awry right off the bat, I might do a little summary. It won't be comprehensive, but it would be a primer of sorts. But anyway, for now, that's it for this video. I hope it was informative, and I hope you decide to either check out the series or stick around on the YouTube channel or follow any of the social media. Again, it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't really use the Instagram. Oh, they're all at the Cataxians. I'll get into my gripe with Instagram. Some of the same as everybody else. It's nothing different. But anyway, so yeah, that's it. This has been the Cataxians. My name is Tab. Hope you stick around. I hope to see you again soon. Oh, and I almost forgot. Happy New Year. Happy 2020. And I really do hope it's already going well. Day 1, and I hope it's going well. All right. Talk to you soon. Later.